Hello, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to Love Life with Court. As always, I'm your host, Courtney Irving, and today we are going to be talking about self love and personal empowerment. Before we get into that, I have a few things that I wanted to talk about to you guys, which is first off, I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel, and all of my podcasts will soon also be able to stream by video on YouTube as well. So wait for that to come. I'm super excited. I'm setting up my whole den to be a studio right now, which is such a great process. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And another thing is I've put out some merch for the LLWC lovelies that are listening and tuning in. And all of the merch stems from positivity and love and spreading joy with you all. All of your support is so greatly support. All of your support is so greatly appreciated. And if you're interested in purchasing merch, all items are free shipping. You can use the code LLWC15 for 15% off. And all you have to do is go to www.lovelifewithcourt.com and click on the store where you can find all of the merch products. Without further ado, let's get started. So my intentions today for this episode is to dive into the importance of self-love and share practical tips on how to cultivate a strong sense of self-worth in fostering our empowerment and positive change. I know we talk about self-love all the time. It's such a common concept that we hear about, but I want to go into first, why is self-love important? And we all know the saying goes that you cannot be loved fully by others until you are completely in love with yourself. But research also suggests that self-love influences every aspect of our life, like our mental well-being, emotional resilience, navigating healthy relationships, overall motivation to succeed, our physical health, reducing stress, and improving our overall decision making. Now, why does it have such a strong influence on our entire life? Well, when you can love yourself fully, it helps build a positive self-image and boost self-esteem and reduce feelings of self-doubt. You're better equipped to cope with life's challenges, and we develop emotional resilience, which enables us to bounce back from setbacks and navigate difficult situations more effectively. Loving ourselves also sets a standard for how we should be treated. When you value yourself, you're more likely to set and pursue meaningful goals, striving for personal growth and fulfillment. Accepting and loving yourself reduces the burden of unrealistic expectations and self-criticism. And overall, self-love involves trusting yourself and your abilities. And you're more likely to make choices aligned with your values and long-term well-being when you are embodying this temple of love. When you love yourself completely and utterly, you trust yourself from within as well in terms of making decisions and building those healthy relationships. Now, we talk a lot in this podcast about manifestation, and to really embody the whole concept of manifestation, self-love and personal empowerment is like the groundwork of manifestation. And this includes things like self-love fosters a positive mindset, enhancing the attraction of favorable outcomes through the law of attraction. There's clarity of intentions. When we have personal empowerment, it enables clear understanding of desires and aligning our thoughts and actions with meaningful intentions for manifestation. We also have increased confidence. Self-love and personal empowerment boosts our confidence, and we become a powerful force attracting opportunities and aiding in overcoming obstacles. Additional ways that self-love and personal empowerment can influence manifestation is things like resilience in challenges, alignment of energy, this being a big one. Personal empowerment aligns thoughts, emotions, and actions, concentrating energy for more effective manifestation efforts. And to do so, we need to have personal empowerment, and they kind of go hand in hand. Self-love and personal empowerment, these are relying on one another. And then we also have openness to receiving. If we don't feel that we love ourselves enough and that we are deserving, well, How are we supposed to be manifesting and receiving the abundance in our desires? And then also consistent positive vibes. That's such a big one when it comes to manifesting, is staying positive and knowing that the life that you desire, your highest self achieving that divine life, needs to come with those positive vibes. So now when it comes to self-love, it is such a subjective term that the ways we can talk about self-love and how we can love ourselves, it could be endless. I could go on and on and on about this. But for the purpose of this episode and to maintain simplicity, I want to focus on our mindset and ways we can learn to love ourselves stemming specifically from our mindset. Now, what I'm going to do to leave you after this episode feeling ready to start your self-love journey is touch on 10 habits and concepts and mindset shifters, we can call them, that will leave you feeling, okay, I am ready to love myself. I know what I need to do. And these are things that I'm going to include in my day-to-day to truly master my self-love journey. And number one, this is a big one, which is practicing self-compassion. We need to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend, and embracing the idea that it's okay to make mistakes and learning from them and moving forward, as opposed to being filled with guilt and regret. And from my own perspective, be as kind to yourself as you are to someone you love. Sometimes we treat ourselves even worse than our worst enemies. And what I want you to do is think of a time you were bullied or someone didn't treat you that fairly, and compare that to a time that you were down on yourself. Now, if your own thoughts about yourself are worse than the ones who have bullied you or made you feel bad about yourself, why should people treat you any differently? We can only expect others to treat us as well as we treat ourselves. And if we are constantly down on ourselves with no compassion, when we are giving an amplified amount of compassion to others and love to others, why should the people that have done us wrong and so-called our worst enemies or our worst bullies change how they treat us? The words we are giving ourselves, if they are any worse than the words that come to us, why should those words change? Now, embodying this concept of self-compassion, what really ties in with that, and that's our second mindset tip when building on our self-love journey, is challenging negative thoughts. And what I want you to do is identify and challenge thoughts that you have about yourself and replace these self-critical thoughts with positive affirmations and constructive beliefs. Now, with that, it's also important to practice awareness and mindfulness and staying present and non-judgmental, as well as recognizing negative thoughts when they arise. What I want you to do is ask yourself for evidence supporting or contradicting the negative thoughts. Whenever something comes into your mind where you may feel down about yourself, I want you to ask yourself, where's the evidence? What are these beliefs supported by? And if you can't think of something, it's gotta go. If you can't think of something in under 10 seconds of why you are feeling this way and what the evidence is to support that, that thought's gotta go. And remember that as quickly as a thought comes in, it can leave just as fast. It is simply the power we give those words and thoughts that stay and stick within us. Number 3, to self-love mindset, is celebrating our small wins, acknowledging and celebrating your achievements, small or big, and cultivating a mindset that recognizes progress and growth no matter how incremental. It can be the smallest thought of practicing simply challenging your negative thoughts. You may have a bad thought that comes up. Immediately you're like, okay, where's the evidence? And if you're not able to find evidence, letting it leave your body. And this doesn't mean that you are resisting these thoughts. It is sitting with them and saying, this has no supporting evidence. It does not serve me. It is time to go. And then celebrating that, the fact that you did that, no matter how incremental these small wins, they're freaking wins. So celebrate it. And that goes hand in hand with our next point, which is embracing imperfection. We all know the song, Ed Sheeran, Perfect. Put it on right now. After this episode, put it on and practice love for all your imperfections, because you are perfect the way you are, and accepting that perfection is unattainable and embrace your imperfections. The love that you will have for yourself will be ever flowing, because we understand that flaws contribute to our uniqueness and character. And there's a quote I heard a long time ago. I don't exactly remember who wrote it, but it goes like, embracing imperfection as the masterpiece of your journey, for within the brushstrokes of flaws and uniqueness, you paint the extraordinary canvas of your one-of-a-kind life. There are so many bodies, there are so many minds, there are so many lives that are the same exact lives, bodies, and minds. We see these people who we want to be, but they are all the same. Embrace your one-of-a-kind life. Embrace the cellulite on your body. Embrace the silly, quirky things that you say. Embrace your verbal diarrhea. Embrace it all, because these are all the amazing things that make you you. And that goes in with our next point. All of these kind of fall into one another, which is setting boundaries. Loving yourself should become a boundary for you. You love yourself too much to allow yourself or anyone else to bring you down or change the idea of who you are that you have in your mind. And establishing and communicating clear boundaries in your personal and professional life is so crucial, because what you're doing is prioritizing self-care and self-love by respecting your own limits and needs. Going in with that, our next point, which is positive self-talk, and this includes things like practicing gratitude and positive affirmations, cultivating a habit of positive self-talk, and replacing the self-limiting language and beliefs with encouraging and uplifting words. So when we challenge those negative thoughts, when we acknowledge that it has no supporting evidence, and then we replace that with a positive self-talk, that's not only an opportunity where you can celebrate a small win, but you are also reprogramming your mind and your thoughts and your overall mindset to embrace the love that you have for yourself. And that goes again, they kind of all fall together. Our next point is future self-visualization. I want you to envision your ideal future self and the positive qualities you want to embody, and use this visualization to guide your actions and decisions. Because if you can't love yourself now, well, practice loving yourself a year from now and what she deserves. It's easier to do something for someone else than it is to do it for ourselves. So look at whoever you will be in a year from now and what you want for her, and cherish her. And know that she deserves the world. And what can you do now to give her that? And that self-love, if you can start this self-love journey now, in a year from now, there's only telling where you will be in terms of where your mindset is, how you let others treat you, and most importantly, how you let yourself treat you. So now we have release comparison. Avoid comparing yourself to others and recognize that everyone has a unique journey. I touched on it already, but you are a canvas of a one-of-a-kind life. Do not fit yourself into a box where there's 20 million others, and make your life as extraordinary as possible. Celebrate the successes of others without diminishing your own achievements. And a great statement that I always say to myself whenever we feel these thoughts of comparing ourselves to others or jealousy is that jealousy stems from the motivation to achieve what has already been done. Now remember that. If it's already been done, there's no stopping you from doing it. So take that jealousy as a positive. Take those feelings of jealousy, and instead of being, oh, why did she get to do that? Say, I'm going to do that too. That's amazing. That's awesome that that person did it. I'm celebrating that person for the achievement that they made, and I'm using that as motivation to do it myself. And that's like another tier of self-love, because that's a boundary you've set for yourself, that you will no longer compare yourself to others or bring yourself down for not achieving something that has already been done. Next, we have two more, and the second last one is nourishing our body and mind. This is so simply said than done, but adopt a mindset that values self-care as a crucial aspect of overall well-being, and recognize that caring for your body and mind is an expression of self-love. When we go without meals, when we go without moving our body, when we go without water, we are prioritizing any other influence in our life besides our own. When our body needs to drink, what does it deserve? It deserves to drink. When our mind needs a break, what does it deserve? It deserves a break. And nourishing our body and mind, that is the stepping stone of self-love and empowerment. And lastly, and this one, I hope it hits you right in the chest, which is forgive yourself. I want to leave you today with you letting go of past mistakes and forgive yourself for any perceived shortcomings. Understand that growth and self-love involves learning from experiences. To love ourselves, we need to let go of the past selves that maybe didn't love them enough to set these boundaries and make these mistakes that we've done in the past. That was an older version of you, and if it's something that was most recent, you still have an opportunity to forgive yourself and move past it, because what you are doing is you're taking the past you mistakes and punishing the current you possibility. So I want you to forgive yourself right now and say to yourself that I am sorry for not allowing you to love yourself completely. I want you to go in the mirror right now and say it. I'm sorry for not allowing you to love yourself completely. From this day onward, I promise to love and respect you. So we'll go over it again. We have practice self-compassion, challenge negative thoughts, celebrate those small wins, embrace imperfection, set those boundaries with yourself and with others, establish positive self-talk, future self-visualization, practice this, release comparison, nourish body and mind, and forgive yourself. From this day forward, you will no longer resent yourself, put yourself down. Today is the opportunity to begin a whole new journey of love that stems from within. I'm going to leave that with you today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share this on your story on whichever social media platform and tag me in it, and I will repost it on my story so we can continue to spread the love and share the message that I intend to share with you and everyone around the world. I'm going to leave you with this, is don't forget to not only be kind to others, but also be kind to yourself. I love you all, and we will see you next week.